We're live on YouTube.
Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Continuing our reading from Shri Guru and His Grace by Srila Bhakti Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. Yesterday we part completed the chapter entitled Instructing Spiritual Masters, or Shiksha Gurus, and that is number it's chapter 11. So this evening we will finish that chapter. And just to recap quickly, Guru Maharaj is again re-emphasizing the critical point of a deeper vision, the absolute necessity of a deeper vision in terms of our perspective on what constitutes the parampara. Is it a physical line, or is it a subtler current of more substantial stuff? Is it the spirit, the ethos of one's guru that can be recognized in other places? Or is it a physical line? And unequivocally, Siddhanta Sarasvati has established that it is a Shiksha parampara, so it is based on the flow of essential spiritual substance rather than a chain of physical inheritance. And Guru Maharaj has given the example of, and thus the chain, due to the nature of it being a succession of a conceptual succession rather than a physical one, it can often take a zigzag path. It is not, its expression and its channel, its flow is not confined to any physical parameter, so it is free to move and appear and take a course as it so chooses. And it is the disciples' responsibility or job to recognize that where it appears. And Guru Maharaj has given the example of Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, who is from the traditional Madhva Sampradaya, but offered a yeoman service to the Gaudiya Sampradaya in his role of establishing its official legitimacy in the eyes of the scholastic section through his compilation of a Bhasya commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. And how he is absolutely incorporated into the Gaudiya parampara, whereas others who may have taken official initiation into the line but do not carry the spirit, do not reflect the substance, they're not given necessarily so much importance. And thus, that is the reason why gaps may appear in the parampara as it's listed. So we'll continue from the section entitled The Zigzag Line of Truth. We have all left social concerns and so many other shackles. For what? For the absolute truth. And wherever I shall find that, I must bow down my head. And if a great soul shows us this is the path to where you will find your thirst quenched, the line is in this zigzag way, we must accept that for our own interest. We are worshippers not of form, but of substance. If the current of spiritual substance comes another way, but I think that I must try to go this way to reach my goal, it is only jealousy, blind tenacity to stick to the physical thing. We must free ourselves from this material contamination and try to understand the value of spiritual truth. We should always be prepared for that. We must follow what is necessary for our own interest. I am not a servant of A, B, C, or D. I am a servant of Mahaprabhu. I may have to turn this way or that way, or whatever way will be favorable to reach my Lord. Wherever I feel the presence of my Lord in an intense form, I must be attracted to that side. We are out for that thing and not for any fashion or formality that will hamper our cause. Krishna says, Sarvadaman parityajya mam ekam sharanam brajya. Wherever we shall find him, we must run in that direction. The direction may not always be straight, it may go in a zigzag way, but if Krishna comes from that side, I must run there. Again, if he appears on this side, I must run to this side. My interest is with him. Not that we can challenge, why did Krishna appear here, and why is he appearing there? That may be a doubtful thing, so I must stay on this side. No, if I have genuine appreciation for the real thing, the proper thing, I must go to that side, to the side of Krishna. If I am blind, that is another case. Then I must have to suffer for my inability. But if anyone has the ability to understand things properly, he will run wherever he finds help. If a man in a boat is passing through the current and finds himself in danger, then from whatever side help may come, he must turn to that side. If we are worshippers of Shiva, when we understand the special superiority of Narayan, should we stick to Shiva? And if we are worshippers of Narayan and are shown the superiority of Krishna, should we stick to our Narayan worship? And then should we not try to go from Krishna's Bhagavad Gita to Srimad Bhagavatam? One may think, I have read the Bhagavad Gita. I like the Krishna who is the speaker of the Gita. Then, when the Srimad Bhagavatam is given to us, should we stick to that Gita Krishna, or should we try to go to the Krishna given in Srimad Bhagavatam? If we have our interest in Krishna, we must run to his side wherever he appears. In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the story is told of how Gopakumar, by chanting his Gopal mantra, gradually leaves one stage and progresses to the next. There, the gradation of devotion is traced from the Karmakanda Brahman to a devotee king, then to Indra, then to Brahma, then to Shiva, from him to Prahlad, then to Hanuman, then to the Pandavas, then to the Yadavas, to Uddhava, and finally to the Gopis. In this zigzag way he is passing. In the sincerity of his quest, his thirst is not being quenched. He is going from this side to that side and going up. So all of them have their Guru Parampara. There is Prahlad's Guru Parampara, Hanuman's Guru Parampara, the Pandavas' Guru Parampara, Mahadev's Guru Parampara. They have their own Guru Parampara. Brahma and Mahadev are gurus themselves. They are the creators of their own lines of Guru Parampara. But Gopakumar passes them also. Why? His thirst is not quenched until he goes to Vrindavan. So the Brihad Bhagavatamrita has shown us the line of Guru Parampara, or the line of our quest, of our search. If we are sincerely searching after real truth, then wherever we go may be a contribution to our experience for further preaching in the future. If we go somewhere hoping with all sincerity that our thirst may be quenched there, but find that it is not quenched and feel some uneasiness, then, by the grace of the Lord, a connection with higher truth will come, and we will go somewhere else, thinking that there our thirst will be quenched. Gradually, we will again find dissatisfaction, the need for something higher, and again we will progress further. In this way, we may cross many Guru Paramparas before ultimately attaining the Braja Leela of Krishna as given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now it's an interesting point arises here, is that this can these instructions can be very easily taken out of context. So we're talking about, I think yesterday as well, how the whimsicality of the mind is impelling one towards variety or change of circumstance. The mind gravitates towards dissatisfaction with its current status or state of affairs, and is looking for something new, something fresh, and attaches higher value to that stuff which it does not have over that which it has. So that which it has, it becomes complacent towards, and so it's seeking something new, some new stimulation. So that dynamic can also very easily apply to one's relationship with a guru or spiritual instruction. And of course, along with that comes a potential for absolute ruination when one listens to one's mind to decide the value of a spirit, of a potential spiritual connection. So that's the danger of misinterpretation in this description of the free nature, or the necessity to evolve and continue to grow in terms of one's spiritual evolution, spiritual advancement. So particularly, we may cross many Guru Paramparas. So how is that to be interpreted? Do you have any comments on that? What if I decide that, I'm gonna try a different parampara now and see what it does? And because Guru Maharaj says if it doesn't work, then the higher truth will come. We can go somewhere else, thinking there that our thirst will be quenched. But he's also making the point that ultimately, so the point is being made here, that ultimately attaining the Braja Leela of Krishna, ultimate meaning that's a destination, which is an unquestionable destination, that we don't try and surpass that. The example given is of Gopakumar, who passes many Guru Paramparas, of Hanuman and of Mahadev, Lord Brahma, and his destination ends in Vrindavan. So once we are confident that we are being connected with the lotus feet of Rupa Manjari, then there's no need to really search out any other Guru Parampara. So it's almost like he's talking about, Guru Maharaj here is talking about a past tense of, or in a broader sense, of people are on a spiritual quest, unless they have come to that place where that is connecting them with Madhura Ras, with the lotus feet of Rupa Manjari, then they may have to cross paramparas up till that point. But to be in a place that is taking you to your ultimate destination, and then listen to your mind when it says that, perhaps I'm going to cross over to a new parampara because Guru Maharaj says so in Sri Guru and His Grace, is a complete misunderstanding of the instruction being given. That's my take on it. Is that relatively accurate?
Sounds perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. What advice would you then give to prevent that from happening?
Well, absolute loyalty and chastity is required once one has certain faith, and it must all be based on faith. Without a premise of faith, everything is compromised and vulnerable to corruption and decay. So a premise of faith must be there, that the faith being that I have come in contact with a parampara, a guru connected to a parampara that can take me to that ultimate destination. And if that faith is not there, then that leaves room for a little voice in one's mind. Or there's so many voices, the voice of the mind, the voice of the intellect, the voice of the stomach even. But the voice of the heart, the voice of faith, if that is strongly established in one's Gurudev, and one has faith that their Gurudev can take them to that ultimate destination, then that is the most powerful protective mechanism available. Everything based on that premise will have longevity, and as is said, grand things can be built. Actual constructions of lasting value can be built on that platform. Otherwise, without the faith, there is always room for doubt. And from doubt, if once doubt sinks its nefarious hooks into your head, then that can grow, that can take a life of its own, and compromise one's foundation, kind of like the roots of a tree spreading through a concrete foundation will crack it. The Guru Maharaj is saying the ultimate, we may cross many Guru paramparas before ultimately attaining the Brajalila of Krishna, not after. I think that's quite an important, caveat. We must cross many Guru paramparas before ultimately attaining the Brajalila of Krishna. We are not interested in fashion or form. If we want the real truth, then wherever it will be found, we must accept it. Mahaprabhu says, Kiba vipra kibanyasi shudra kinanaya ye Krishna tatvaveta se guru haya. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 8, 1-8. Anyone, regardless of caste or social position, may become guru if he knows the science of Krishna. Sometimes the father may not be our guardian. Our uncle may be our guide, and not the father. It's possible. The line of interest is to be considered the most important. So our line is the Shiksha Guru Parampara. I am thankful to those who are helping my spiritual understanding, not only in a formal way, but in the real sense. Whoever is untying the knots of our entanglement in this material world, giving us light, and quenching our thirst for inner understanding and satisfaction, is our Guru. In this way, we live on the contribution of all these spiritual masters. They are all our Shiksha Gurus. All the Vaishnavas are more or less our instructing spiritual masters. Our spiritual life may live on their contribution, but we do not accept the imitationists. They are our enemies, asat sangha, bad association. They will take us away from the real path of understanding and progress. We must ask our sincere hearts, from whom do I really get the benefit of spiritual life? Our sincere consciousness will be the best judge, not form. If in an earthen pot there is Ganges water, and in a golden pot there is ordinary water, which should we select? In a case like that, Brahmins, the intelligent class of men, take the holy Ganges water in the earthen pot. So the substance contained, and not the container, should be given the real importance. Am I this body? I am not this physical body. My own physical identification should be challenged if I am too much addicted to the physical Guru Parampara. Who am I? Am I this physical body? If I am spiritual, then in the spiritual sphere I shall have to look with spiritual eyes and pursue whoever will come before me who is really following the path of Mahaprabhu. When the Pandavas retired to the Himalayas, Yudhisthira Maharaj was going ahead. Nobody believed they would fall. Arjuna couldn't believe that his brothers had fallen. But even after Arjuna had fallen, a dog was going on, following Maharaj Yudhisthira. We may see many men fall down on the path of our journey towards the spiritual goal, but still we should try to reach the goal. And with the help of whoever comes along, I shall go. Some may be eliminated. Even a Madhyam Adhikari Guru may sometimes be eliminated when he falls down. It is not a happy thing, but it may even occur that my Guru was going ahead, taking me forward, and fell down. Then, with fresh energy, invoking the help of the Lord, I shall have to go on. Even such a disaster may come in our journey, but still, we must not be cowed down. Sometimes alone and sometimes with company, we must go on. First, there must be sukriti, accumulated merit, and then shraddha, faith, will guide us. The quality of the faith must be examined. Shraddha, faith, is a general term, but shraddha may be defined into different classes. A high form of shraddha will be our fare on the way back to Godhead. Sometimes we may find co-workers, and sometimes we may have to go alone. What of that? We cannot but go to the goal, because we shall have the grace of so many unseen gurus. Unseen gurus. There are others also who are working, and their ideal will inspire me, although physically I am not seeing any companion or any follower with me. The inspiration of the unseen gurus will be our fare. They will inspire us to go on with our journey, and our own sincere hankering for the truth will be our real guide. That is Guru Parampara. Who is Guru? Is Guru a body, or is Guru a vairagi, a renunciant? Or is the Guru only a formal guise, a hypocrite who is showing the appearance of a sadhu, but within is doing something else? Who is a Guru? Only one who will exclusively guide me to Krishna and Mahaprabhu with devotion. He is my Guru, whatever he may be. Mahaprabhu told Ramananda Rai, Ramananda, why do you shrink away? Do you think that I am a sannyasi and you are a grihastha? You are always hesitating to reply to my questions. Do you think it does not look well for you to advise a sannyasi Brahmin? Don't hesitate. You know Krishna best. Give Krishna to me. Have courage. In this way, Mahaprabhu was encouraging Ramananda. By the grace of Krishna, you have that capital. Give it to me. You are a real capitalist. I have come to preach to the world that you are the wealthiest capitalist of the spiritual world. And that must be used for the good of the public. Don't hesitate. Don't shrink away. Come out. Ramananda said, yes, it is your capital. You have deposited it with me, and today you have come to withdraw it from me. It is your property. It is your property. I understand. And you press and push me to take it out. All right, I am a mere instrument used by you. Whatever you want me to say, I am ready to say. In this way, Ramananda was going on. But is Ramananda a member of a sampradaya? We are so much indebted to Ramananda Rai, but he is not in the Guru Parampara. Still, he is more than many of the gurus who are in the Guru Parampara. Srimati Radharani is not in the Guru Parampara. Should we dismiss her? First there should be Guru, and then there is the question of Parampara. The question of first importance is, who is Guru? And then there can be a chain of them coming down. Alexander the Great, form breaker. Sometimes the formal must be left aside. Once Alexander the Great was with his father, and they came upon a chariot with a thick knot tied in its rope. There was an inscription above the knot, and there it was written, whoever can untie this knot will be a great king in the future. The young Alexander asked his father, what is it, Papa? His father replied, this knot has been firmly tied here, and there it is written that whoever can loosen it will be a great king in the future. Alexander said, I shall do it. He took out his sword and he cut the rope. Is it clear? The formality was not kept. A man stood by the side. He came out and said, "Yes, he will be a great king. It cannot be otherwise." The formality was left aside, the realistic view taken, and immediately Alexander cut the Gordian knot. It's a famous story. Sticking to formality, he would have been lost. This happened also in the case of Columbus. Someone challenged, "Can you make an egg stand on a nail?" Columbus is perhaps he's like, he had sailed to the New World and back, whenever it was. And it was around the time Mahaprabhu was born, actually, wasn't it? 1490s. Yeah. He must have been a child at the time. So he'd sailed there and back and got back and said, "Yes, but can you make an egg stand on a nail?" Columbus pushed it in. A portion broke, and he stood on, it stood on the, and he stood it on the nail and said, "Yes, I have done so." This is practical knowledge. So the real disciple provides practical knowledge in support of the divine love which is coming down. We must bow down our heads wherever we find support of that. We should not become formalists, but substantialists, not fashionists, not imitationists, but realistic thinkers. That should always be our temperament. And that's the end of the chapter. Comments, elaborations?
Please.
It's behind
No, I'm happy to hear. It's very, very nice. Such a valuable book.
Yes.
It's just like life-saving, really. Like so many misconceptions were saved from hearing. Just a few minutes there, and so many important things.
So progressive, profound and progressive.
Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, wanted Guru Maharaj many, many times to come and preach. And in fact, Srila Prabhupada said, and this is an interesting anecdote, because Srila Prabhupada Swami Maharaj Prabhupada didn't have too much physical association with Siddhanta Sarasvati. I believe a total of 10 days.
Yeah.
We're not talking 10 whole, 24 hours times by 10. It's like he saw him on 10 days for whatever duration of time, which really is not so much considering. Anyway, so it would perhaps it was in a piece of correspondence then, or else personally on one of those days. But he recounts that Siddhanta Saraswati told him to actually try and encourage Guru Maharaj for preaching. So even with Siddhanta Saraswati, asked him. I mean, that was related. It may sound a little bit anachronistic, considering that perhaps Guru Maharaj was preaching at that time. Or one could take it as, not doubting the veracity of Prabhupada's words, one could take it as prescient that Siddhanta Saraswati was saying to Srila Prabhupada, look, here is the best preacher, and you are going to be the biggest preacher. So, look, here is here is your god brother that you can enlist to help you in your preaching service. So it can be interpreted that way. But nonetheless, Srila Prabhupada says that's what Siddhanta Saraswati told him. And many times he tried to involve Srila Guru Maharaj in ISKCON in a formal way. And Guru Maharaj declined, including the presidency of ISKCON in 1976, I believe. Wanted him to be president of ISKCON. Imagine that. History would have, in the context, would have taken an interesting twist. But anyway, it worked out perfectly. And the invaluable nature of the role that Srila Maharaj played. And I mean, it's very likely that Guru Maharaj knew the trajectory that things would take. with Srila Prabhupada's young disciples, with this explosive, phenomenally explosive spread of Krishna consciousness around the world. And then once he passed away, there would be a need for rescue work, essentially. And the value that came with that, like the necessity for it, and then the quality and the second, like Goswami Maharaj was saying today, perhaps it was before he did the public darshan, that Guru Maharaj's building on Srila Prabhupada's teachings and revelation in terms of what you'd expect with a academic curriculum like primary and then secondary, etc. So Guru Maharaj giving a secondary revelation when it was most needed. And not just then, but like Vishaka was saying now, still appreciated greatly by all of us now. The next chapter is called The Land of Gurus, which refers to where? I wonder.
There are many gurus in the marketplace. Let's refer to here.
Anything else, Vishaka Didi? No. Maybe we'll finish then. Jai Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sri Dhadev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Srila Gurudev ki Jai.